right, good evening, everyone, and welcome out to Speed Racing Network, where we present the Lady in Black, the Throwback 140. This is the fun week where not only do we have one of the most difficult tracks on the entire circuit, but we have Throwback Week, where we have all the fun paints out there from years past. So my name is Sean Griffith. I'm here with Jacob Zala. How's it going, Jacob?
It's going really well, and you know, Sean, like you said, this track is too tough to tame. And I want to see where these drivers push their limits tonight.
Oh, they're definitely going to be pushing. They're going to be pushing each other. They're going to be pushing the limits. They're going to be pushing the walls of the track out. They're going to be pushing all sorts of things. Everyone expects this to be a very yellow race just because of the track makeup itself, how it's shaped, the nice little egg shape there, and just everybody comes in afraid of the Lady in Black because of its history.
Yeah, the Lady in Black has a bunch of history. You know, we got those crazy finishes in 2003 with Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch and all those crazy finishes and stuff. So it's going to be an interesting track. I love this track, though. It definitely makes you push your limits and makes you go up to the wall, even though you might not want to.
Yeah, you have to push the limits, but you also have to be extremely patient because most drivers drive up by the wall. You have to wait for the perfect moment to make your moves that you're going to make, and sometimes that's got to be on a restart, so that creates more cautions. Just a lot of times we get a caution-filled race, and we'll see how the Xfinity drivers can do here tonight. All right, so 110 laps. We are calling this the Throwback 140, obviously, because of all the throwback paint schemes we have going on out there. No fast repairs, which is different from years from seasons past. We used to have a fast repair in the Xfinity series just for tracks like this. This week, they're going to have to keep it super clean. And just looking out there at the practices right now, people are having a tough time doing that right now. They're having a tough time staying away from that outside walling. They're getting their Darlington Stripes on early.
Yeah, and with that no fast repair, it makes it even harder for these drivers because not only now do you have to worry about keeping your car clean, now you have to worry about, oh, I don't have a fast repair to back me up in case I do hit the wall or something. So now it's a game of now how hard do you push and how hard do you keep the car clean here?
Absolutely, and you know, we've got 20 weeks in this season. This is week number 9. We are fast approaching the cutoff week, which is week number 13, where we cut to the top 15 drivers in the series, and so everyone is anxious to get to that point, and this is just that race that can either make or break you here.
Yeah, and then you go to the fixed setups. Everybody's running the same setup, so everybody will be equal. It's just how much more can you put in the car than the other person.
Yeah, $10 a week to get in here. We do have weekly and season-long payouts, which we will go through here in just a moment. $500 for first place. That's the big payout here. And, I mean, I'm telling you, it is going to be a big contest for that. The leaderboard is absolutely stacked full of talent. In fact, last week we had a change in the individual leader. So that's going to be interesting coming into this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard-fought battle for first place, and it's going to be interesting to watch throughout the season as we come to the end of it, as we come to the close, and who will win the championship and that $500. 5-person teams allowed, and you know, I do like this better than what NASCAR has, 4-person teams. We have 5. It allows you to get that one extra fast driver onto your team, and maybe he can help you out for the team championship.
Oh, and it's huge. I mean, the team racing that we have here at Speed Racing Network is one of the selling points here. They absolutely enjoy it because you get that camaraderie in there. In fact, we've got a lot of teams that have more people than what they should on there, so they had to split the team up and everything. But only 3 drivers from each team are scored in the team championship, which is $200 on this. And again, we'll go through those team standings here in just a moment. But what are they racing for here tonight, Jacob?
Well, you see it there right now. First place is racing for $30. You win the race tonight, you're $30 richer. Second place is racing for $20. You're close, but you just came up a little short. Third, fourth, and fifth is all $10, so you know you get your money back from the entry fee, which is $10 for the SRN Xfinity Series.
Yeah, another unique thing about the Speed Racing Network series is that we do pay out both weekly and season-long prizes. Now, these weekly prizes, they're small. They're nothing to be going crazy about, obviously, but they do add up, and it gives you that little bit of extra incentive just to keep pushing. Now, we've had some drivers in the past that have paid for week number 1 and never paid for another week again because they just kept winning or rolling over that money over and over and over again. So that's what people are looking for here. It's not a lot of money, but it's good money. But the lot of money comes from the season payouts where, once again, $500 first place.
Yeah, and then you get $300 for second place. So even if you get second place, you're still getting a good amount of money. Third place with $180, which isn't bad, honestly. Fourth place with $120.
Yeah, I mean, 5th place, $80, 6th place, $60, 7th place, $40, 8th place, $20. Now, last season, we only paid out the top 5, and so a lot of people wanted to see more. They wanted to have something to race for if they weren't in that top 5. So we expanded it out to the top 8. So now, even if you're not in the championship 5, you still have a chance to win a little bit of money there. So definitely put it all out on the line, and that is what they're going to be doing here tonight.
Now we get to look at our hard charger, Kane Cook, and his coaching sim coaching sessions that he holds. And Kane Cook, you know, he's known for being a hard charger, and what a hard charger is, you come from the back to the front. So, you know, you see him in the back most of the time, and then he goes to the front later on in the race.
Yeah, and this guy, he knows the ins and outs of every single track on iRacing. He is really, really good at what he does. In fact, he's so good, he is up in the Coca-Cola series, which, if you don't know, they race for $300,000. Here we are, we're like, man, this is awesome. We're racing for $500. This guy races for $300,000 on iRacing. So any of your parents that said, hey, you can't make money in gaming, they're lying to you. This guy's doing it.
Yes, they are indeed, and he's doing it well, and he's got a chance. He's looking really good so far this season. I haven't really watched much of the Coke series, but he's definitely one to watch out for.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch, and he knows his craft so well. So if you have that need for a coach, if you need a little bit more speed on the track, if you need need to know how to save your tires a little bit better, this is the guy to talk to. Go to speedracingnetwork.com, set up your online session with Kane Cook, and he will take you through all the ins and outs of iRacing, which is basically priceless. Really, really great guy. Now, something else that we've got going on this Saturday, this is the Revved Up for the Cause, the Battle of the Teams. This is a charity event where we're raising money for a little girl named Sadie who has cancer, and so we're trying to raise money for her care and that. And so we do have a great race going on that was put on by Sean Kozier. This is the second time that he's put on this race, and this time around we're doing what's called the Battle of the Teams. So it's a team event where you have 3 drivers on each team, and those drivers have to work together throughout Talladega in order to win the prizes.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but I recently joined a team with 2 of our other drivers in the series, and I love Talladega, so I'm definitely going to be trying to get myself up there and try and get some of those prizes that Sean Kozier is holding out.
Well, what do you mean you don't know about me? You know exactly what I'm going to be doing that night. I'm going to be broadcasting this puppy, man. It's going to be a blast. We have so many sponsors, so many prizes out there, and we're working on getting viewer prizes as well. So definitely show up. I know at least a couple of the prizes, you have to type in your name into the chat just to put your name in for those prizes. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely show up on September 11th. The race starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll probably start the broadcast about 10 minutes before that. So definitely come on in. Be on the lookout for that. Or you can like or subscribe our YouTube channel right now, and we'll be sure to send out a blast to let you know exactly when that is.
Yeah, so, I love that. Sorry, Sean. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. So this week we have got another great Beer of the Week brought to you by Beer Street Journal. Let's find out what the Beer of the Week is this week. This week's Beer Street Journal Beer of the Week comes from Orpheus Brewing in Atlanta, Georgia. Last year, we all missed Orpheus Brewing's 6-year anniversary thanks to the pandemic. But now it's their 7-year anniversary, and in true Orpheus fashion, they aren't just releasing one anniversary beer, they're releasing 7. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go through all 7 of them here, so we'll just pick one out from the bunch. It's called Stouts All the Way Down, Volume 16. It's an imperial stout aged in Heaven Hill bourbon barrels. Flavor-wise, it's aged with honey-roasted peanuts and strawberries, so you should get a bunch of those flavor tones. So be on the lookout for Stouts All the Way Down by Orpheus Brewing. And be sure to check out the other 6 beers being released by Orpheus Brewing as well. You can find a full list and breakdown of those beers on beerstreetjournal.com. The Beer of the Week is brought to you by beerstreetjournal.com, the leading online publication in craft beer reviews. Go to beerstreetjournal.com to find your next great beer. And as always, you must be 21 to enjoy, and please drink responsibly. That's right. It is Orpheus Brewing Stouts All the Way Down. Now, remember, this is one of only 7 that they are putting out this year because it is their 7th anniversary. So do not miss these beers. They are absolutely fantastic. And this is just one of them because we only had time to show one of them. So definitely go out there, take a look at Orpheus Brewing and the Stouts All the Way Down beer, volume number 16. Tastes like honey roasted peanuts and strawberries. That's an interesting little flavor there, so I'm going to have to check that one out myself. But let's move on to Inside the Cut here, and you'll see at the top of the leaderboard, brand new leader this week. Greg Olenek has been leading this thing for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Vincent Cortez finally passed him, and so that takes a little bit of pressure off of Greg, and I think he appreciates that part of it. But Vincent Cortez now leading our point standings, Jacob.
Yeah, and Vincent Cortez now, like you said, he's got the pressure on, and he's going to have to put that pressure aside and try and get those finishes out. Seth Reed in 3rd and Devin Zimmerman in 4th. Those two are pretty close right now, and I know Devin Zimmerman was once the point leader before, but I know he can get back to it and try and get to that top spot.
Well, you know, you're a part of Tank Racing, and Tank is having a great showing here with 3 of the top 5 drivers. But don't look past Rev Racing. They've got a few good drivers on here. In fact, they've got 4 of the top 15. So don't look past them at all. And then Seth Reed leading Highline Racing. He's one of those superstars in and out every single week. So great drivers here. But look here outside the cut. Jose Castellanos just outside the cut, about 2 points out. You got Adam Pettit down there, who's just a little bit out. You got Corey Saucier, who was one of our best Truck Series drivers last season, moved up into the Xfinity Series, and now he is on his way towards the top 2. So look at these drivers. Who do you see on here that you think can move up?
Right now, I'm looking at Jose Castellanos. Like you said, 2 points out. He is looking fast. You know, it's not week 9 now, so you gotta get your positions and you gotta finish good throughout the rest of the season, but you can't pressure yourself.
Yeah, after this week, we're going to start using the standings that actually show some drop weeks as well. So that will help out some of these drivers as well. Some of these drivers on this list have missed a week or 2, and so that's put them behind. But we do allow 3 drop weeks per season, and so that will help out a lot of these guys. So let's jump into the team standings here. Rev Racing leading the way, and they are starting to kind of run away with it, but Tank is doing everything they can to stay on their tail.
Yeah, Tank Racing is trying to get there, but I mean, it's tough when you have Greg Olenek, Jordan Bain, all those guys who keep running up front, and sometimes Tank has some collisions and stuff, so it's definitely hard to get past Rev. R&D there in 3rd, and I don't know, I haven't seen much from R&D. I mean, Dylan Patterson did win Dover, but after that I haven't seen much, but they're still in 3rd, and they're looking strong.
Yeah, and I mean, the rest of these teams, all these teams except for one will get into the top 8. Now, that top 8 will be put into a bracket where 1 goes against 8, 2 goes against 7, et cetera, et cetera. Think about the March Madness stuff. That's kind of the same deal. So Rev Racing right now kind of has the inside track on getting a good opponent in that first round. But JW Racing, who just joined a few weeks ago, they have a shot to jump into this top 8 and make life a little bit difficult for somebody in that top 4.
Yeah, they do. They're looking fast, and they already have 1 win on the season after joining late. So these guys have a chance to put Rev Racing, Tank Racing, or any of these other teams on their heels.
All right, well, let's jump into these team introductions. We got about 5 minutes left in qualifying, then we're going to get started. But we're going to start off here with our leaders, Rev Racing. And just like you were saying, such a great group of drivers here. Aaron Gerwitz, Ted Rekich, Jordan Bain, Greg Olenek, Adam Pettit. There's not a weakness on this team, Jordan. Yeah, you.
Now, there's definitely not a weakness, and one of these drivers has my favorite paint scheme in the field tonight, and I'm not going to say who it is just yet. I'll let the fans figure that out when we get to it.
Well, let's move on to your team, Tank Racing, and these guys are as consistent as they come. Military precision is what I call it, and this is their team. Derek Da Silva, Devin Zimmerman, Mike Lepicki, Vincent Cortez, the points leader himself, and Adrian Schumacher. You know these guys better than anybody. What do you see out of them?
These guys are fast. You know, these guys push every week, and we're always having practice sessions for Tank. Either I'm throwing them up or anyone's throwing up practice sessions. So we are always practicing. So these guys put a lot of practice into their craft because they want to make sure they can get that top spot.
Well, the next team on the list, R&D Motorsports, and you were saying you don't know a ton about them. You do know that Dylan Patterson won one of the weeks, but you're missing somebody also. There was another winner on R&D Motorsports in week number 1, and that was Ryan Phillips at Daytona. But besides that, Bo Tiffany, Corey Saucier, Stan Houseman, again, another team that really doesn't have a weak driver.
Yeah, these guys, I honestly didn't remember that Ryan Phillips won that race at Daytona, but excuse me for that one. But these guys, they're looking pretty tough right now, and again, they're in third place. There's some points back, but if they can pull up the finishes, they will be able to get that thing done and win this team championship.
Next up on the list, Stryker Motorsports, and there is a driver on this team that we are not allowed to say his name because he believes so strongly in the broadcaster's curse, he doesn't want us to mention him. So we will completely skip over that second driver there. But Jose Castellanos, Tyler Markle, and Jack Hedgecock's on the list. Actually, Brandon Domain, we just like to poke fun at him because he is our co-broadcaster on Wednesday nights and Sunday nights. So Brandon Domain is on that team. Love that car out there. You should see his throwback paint scheme.
I did see it through what the Discord said, so I do know what his paint scheme is, and it looks awesome. But one of these drivers in there, Tyler Markle, I believe he was 8th place in the points. He's having a really good run this season for Stryker Motorsports.
Yes, he is. I mean, again, not really a ton of weaknesses except they only had 4 drivers. So Rev Racing had so many drivers that they had to form a second team called Rev Reloaded. Now, there's only 3 drivers on this team, but right now they're currently slotted in that 5th position. So Zach Deutscher, Danny Dow, and Nathan Nixon. And something that a lot of people don't know or don't remember is that Danny Dow won Mid-South Madness Season 1. That was the first season that we ever ran here at Speed Racing Network. So Danny Dow is a winner. Nathan Nixon won some races last year. Zach Deutscher has been coming on strong. So great team here.
Yeah, but with that great team comes great grievances, and these guys have not had a very great season. 5th place in the team championship, so there's not that many races left. So these guys are going to have to start pressuring themselves just a tiny bit to get back to where they need to be.
Yeah, next up, we got the consistency and the speed of Jonathan Beyer Racing, who they got their first 2 wins in Speed Racing Network just a few weeks ago over in the Truck Series. So this Xfinity Series team is looking for their win here. They've got Austin Moore, Josh Marcy, Josh Witt, Brian Huntley Jr., and Nathan De La Rosa. And again, these guys are all about consistency, and that may or may not come into play here. We've got to get some green flag laps.
Yeah, we got to see some green flag laps. We got to see what these drivers can put in this thing, and hopefully no yellows, because Darlington is a place where people are thinking yellows are going to happen, and these drivers just got to do what they can to finish out strong.
Next up, we got Highline Racing, and this is another team that only has 3 drivers on it, so they're kind of behind the 8 ball, but when 2 of your 3 drivers are in the playoffs right now, that being Seth Reed and Daniel Keith Jr., it's a little hard to ignore these guys.
These guys are looking fast. Wayne Rayborn, Daniel Keith, and Seth Reed, they have a team that could do something. Seth Reed is really fast and really consistent. I've seen him. He was really good at Pocono, just missed out by a pit strategy call. And these guys can get something done, win races. They might have a shot.
Next up, Smith Road Racing, and they're down in 8th place, so they're the ones on the cut line. They're the ones that are having to defend themselves against JW Racing the most here. And again, another team that only has a few drivers on it, and so they again have that disadvantage. But Dustin Scruggs, Christopher Darling, Tristan Bailey, I mean, we've got some good drivers here. It's just with only 3 guys, you cannot have an off week.
Yeah, and even with that win that Tristan Bailey got at Nashville, it definitely doesn't help only having 3 drivers there. So these guys are going to have to keep on running with it and hope that they can keep in front of JW Racing.
And finally, we do have JW Racing, and again, kind of the new team on the block here, but they have already made a splash. They've already got one win in the first 2 weeks that they've been here in the Xfinity Series, and they've got some phenomenal finishes too. So Justin Rideout, Matthew Robinson, Michael Larch, James Shane Wolf, and Drew Ballesteros, who won it all last week.
Yeah, I don't know much about this team, but these guys are flying right now, and these guys are doing everything they can to try and get a win here. And look, Drew Ballesteros already got a win in the series, so these guys have a shot to maybe make somebody work for it in the playoffs.
And finally, we do have a bunch of independent drivers: Kyle Wimble, Rhett Tucker, Blair Holloman, David Duke, Austin Purnell, Kyle Johnson, Austin Reedy, and Emerson Ardon. So a lot of independent drivers out there trying to get their feet wet here at Darlington before the Cup Series race.
Yeah, and Emerson Ardon, he was a broadcaster last week at Pocono, and now he's racing for Adrian Schumacher, who wasn't unfortunately able to make it tonight. And I know Emerson Ardon had a good race last season at Darlington, so hopefully he can get up there.
Well, look who is on the pole right now. Vincent Cortez, our series leader, up on the pole. Jordan Bain in second for Rev Racing. Tristan Bailey for Smith Road Racing in third. And James Shane Wolf from JW Racing continuing their hot streak in fourth.
And then you got Aaron Gerwitz for Rev Racing in fifth. Greg Olenek for Rev Racing in sixth. A lot of Rev Racing in the top 10 here. Adam Pettit in 7th for Rev Racing, and then Devin Zimmerman in 8th for Tank Racing.
Last week's winner, Drew Ballesteros in 9th, Seth Reed from Highline Racing in 10th, Austin Reedy driving as an independent tonight because he's dropping down from the Cup Series in 11th, and then Corey Saucier from R&D Motorsports there in 12th. All right, Jacob, I think we are about ready to get this party started here, so who you got tonight, man?
Well, as much as I would love to say Vincent Cortez here, there's one guy that has a paint scheme tonight that I told you all about earlier, and it's that guy in second place running the Dale Jarrett Quality Care Ford paint scheme of Jordan Bain. I love that paint scheme, and I love the driver that he chose, so that's going to be my pick tonight.
Yeah, we're going to try to get some better views of these cars a little bit later on in the broadcast. Great pick. Jordan Bain has been on a hot streak. He is one of those drivers that could go all the way. I'm going to go back just a little bit. I'm going to go back to James Shane Wolf here in the 53, starting off in fourth. He's just been good the last 2 races, and I think that it's his turn to kind of break through here at Speed Racing Network.
Yeah, we'll have to see what James Shane Wolf can do. I haven't seen much, but Vincent Cortez leading the field here. And I know Vincent is hungry for a win. He hasn't gotten a win yet, and he's told me earlier this week that this is a place he would love to win at. So I'm hoping that maybe Vincent Cortez can have that good luck. And I don't want to curse him just yet, so let's see what happens.
Well, the Dale Earnhardt Jr. paint is out there right now. That is what Vincent Cortez is running, and he is going to get our green flag and start us off here at Darlington, here at the Lady in the Black.
Yeah, and he has taken the lead right away, and he is pulling away from these drivers. Vincent Cortez already out to a 0.4 of a second lead right now on everyone else, so he definitely got a good start.
Huge start here, and that is all you really need here at Darlington. You've got to get out front, and then once you're out front, you just have to maintain that line. It is so hard to pass here.
Yeah, passing is going to be obsolete at Darlington, and these drivers are going to have to find a way to get around the others. But Jordan Bain already dropping down to third as Tristan Bailey got to him. So Jordan Bain having a rough start, about to lose third place to James Shane Wolf.
Yeah, James Shane Wolf looking at the inside there, and just like you were saying earlier, the outside line is a little more prominent here, but here early in the run, sometimes you can make that inside work. Oh, we've already got our first caution.
Oh, no.
Looks like the 62 of Kyle Johnson, the 98 of Nathan Nixon, getting some of these old-style paint schemes all ruined already.
Oh, no, not the throwback schemes ruined already. Come on, guys, there's only lap 2.
Well, it is Darlington, so let's check out a rec replay here and see if we can figure out exactly what happened. And just like we were saying, it's hard to pass here, and so when you get side by side and you're trying to make that pass, you have to push a little bit harder than you want to, and so that's what's happening here. These guys are side by side. And once you're side by, Yep, Nathan Nixon just into the wall. Looks like the 62 of Kyle Johnson gets touched there. Man, we got all sorts of damage going on. I believe that's Zach Deutscher in the number 2.
Is this Talladega or is this Darlington? Oh, man, what's the big one on lap 2 here?
That's as close to the big one as we've ever gotten at a short track. I call this a short track. It's not really a short track, but yeah, these cars, they get up into the wall, and this is kind of one of those self-cleaning tracks where the cars come down, so the safest place for you to be is up top, and a few other cars involved there. Danny Dow was involved in that one as well. It looks like the 91 also involved. So, all sorts of damage to start us off here at Darlington.
Yeah, it looks like the 50 just got a little bit tight into turn 1 and just wasn't clear and just got into Nathan Nixon, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, and that number 50, that's Justin Rideout from JW Racing. And, yep, just got up into Nathan Nixon, and then everything else started. So I love that Noble Winston car for the 62. He doesn't love it right now. That's Kyle Johnson, and he has taken it to pit road already. So, but good-looking paint schemes out there.
Yeah, there are some great paint schemes, and this is why I love Darlington. I love the Throwback weekend. Even though I'm young, I'm 19 years old, and you can say whatever you want. I love the Throwback weekend. I love seeing all these old throwbacks that I've never got to see personally in my lifetime.
Well, once again, while we're under caution, let's talk about this battle of the teams that is coming up. It is going to be a fantastic race. Do not miss this thing because we really have a lot of fun with it. This is one of those things where we love raising money to help out these charities, and that's kind of what Speed Racing Network is all about. We're all about helping other people. We're all about helping each other out, that sort of thing. And so this is a good way for all of us to kind of get together and help out somebody that's desperately in need.
Yeah, and that's what I love. I love helping out people in need, and running in this race and helping people in need is just something that is always I will take the opportunity to do anytime I can.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump back out there on the racetrack here, as we are still under caution here, but you can see the Dale Jr. Paint scheme for Vincent Cortez, who still leads this race. On the outside, you got Tristan Bailey, you got James Shane Wolf, that's up in 4th place. Jordan Bain in that Dale Jarrett Throwback, they're in 3rd place. Going back a little further here, you got Greg Olenek in that Moo and Brew car. I like that scheme.
I do, and I believe the driver was Cale Yarborough. That is something I do know. As we go green flag, Vincent Cortez taking the lead already off the start again.
Yep, and he gets that great jump, and when you do that here, especially because there's so many cautions at the Lady in Black here, it's really easy for you to just kind of relax, just kind of sit back. If you can keep on getting those restarts, you're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it looks like that so far, but Tristan Bailey is only 0.3 of a second behind and closing the gap just a tiny bit to Cortez.
Yeah, and Shane Wolf not too far behind that. I'm seeing if anybody is kind of side by side right now. It looks like everybody has kind of leveled off really quickly here, which is great. I know the admins have already said that if we have multiple cautions in a row, then we're going to go single file restarts, and nobody really wants to do that.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was in the single file restarts at Pocono on that last green flag, or that last run, and let me tell you, I was in 4th position. I was definitely not happy about it. So these guys, I know they don't want single file restarts.
It looks like Tristan Bailey still on the tail of Vincent Cortez while Shane Wolf follows behind as well. Going back a little ways, we're starting to kind of gather up everything back here. It looks like we got Justin Wright out there on the outside. I'm trying to see who is passing him there. That is the number 1 of Kyle Wimble. It's actually the 91 on your screen, but he is the number 1 in our scorebooks.
Yeah, Kyle Wimble is looking really fast out there right now. He's moving through the field, but we'll have to see if he can keep it up.
I just saw Mike Lepicki get his Darlington Stripe back there. He got into that outside wall, and that's what we call the Darlington Stripe, if you don't know what that is, because it makes a nice little stripe on the wall and on your paint scheme. So congratulations to Mike Lepicki getting his Darlington Stripe.
Well, if you're watching this broadcast, I would hope you know what a Darlington Stripe is, but that's a good explanation of the Darlington Stripe there as we see Cortez leading still. And, man, Cortez out there right now, 0.35 of a second ahead of Tristan Bailey and 0.8 of a second ahead of James Shane Wolf. He's getting out there, but remember, Darlington is a track where you have to save tires. Tires get eaten up at this track so quick, so we'll have to see how long Cortez can keep those tires clean.
Well, looking back through the field here, I think everybody has kind of spaced themselves out a little bit, and that is exactly what you need here at Darlington. And as soon as I say that, Rhett Tucker goes down to the inside, trying to make the pass here on Corey Saucier in that Baby Ruth car. We haven't seen that out on NASCAR forever.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know who ran that car, so you're gonna have to tell me more about it.
I don't know who ran it off the top of my head. I can look that up, but just a very classic paint scheme. So really love seeing that out there as well. One of the other paint schemes out there, and we'll zoom in on this one while people are kind of getting spread out. This is Stan Houseman. You can see he's got a little bit of damage there, but his paint scheme actually caught the attention of the original driver of the car.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, especially having a driver of the car, you know, get that attention on iRacing. Man, that's something that'll last forever.
Yeah, Rick Mast drove the Skull paint scheme instead of the Beer Street Journal, obviously, but this is kind of his paint scheme, and so Stan posted this on Facebook, and he got a like by Rick Mast himself. So that's awesome, man. Great job on that paint scheme, and great job getting those likes out there.
Yeah, and those likes really mean everything for Stan Houseman as we see Seth Reed there, and I believe that is a Kenny Wallace paint scheme. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he's running a Kenny Wallace throwback, and I haven't seen a Kenny Wallace throwback in a while.
I believe you may be right. That Stacker too. Wow, that I don't think you can even buy that anymore. So Stacker 2 being a sponsor here for Seth Reed. Right behind him, Brandon Domain. He led on that he had an orange and black and white car and the number 20. Guess who that is? That is Tony Stewart in the old Home Depot paint scheme. But welcome back to the Grid Finder paint scheme now.
Yeah, and Tony Stewart's a great driver. He won some championships, and side by side right now, these throwback cars are going, and Domain trying to get around Seth Reed, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think Reed's going to get the run off the outside lane. Maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he might. I think he might have let Brandon get in there, and so that outside line again, the kind of the preferred line here. So it's hard for me to believe that Seth didn't just let him go by. And Seth is one of those really patient, safe drivers, and he'll let somebody go by because he knows he's just going to pass him right back in a few laps.
Yeah, and I wanted to do something right now. I wanted to go talk to our buddy sitting down there in the pits. I wanted to talk to Landon Lacy and figure out what he thinks about this track and what his feelings are about Darlington.
Yeah, I mean it's two totally different corners. 1 and 2 you have a little bit of off throttle time, but most of the time you're just about wide open. 3 and 4 a little bit different. Kind of the opposite. You're off the throttle a lot. You kind of want to let the car roll through the corner, and then slowly get back on that throttle, because if you get on it too quick, you'll get the rear end around on you and you could possibly spin out. And one thing I'd like to add to you guys, that Baby Ruth car, that is a Jeff Gordon throwback back when he ran the Busch Series.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. So I'm telling you, we need a NASCAR historian in here rather than, just two guys.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Landon Lacy's a Jeff Gordon fan, too. So, I mean, that definitely helps with that. And as we see the Jimmy Johnson scheme get the Darlington Stripe, and Jimmy Johnson really didn't have any great times here at Darlington. So, Austin Reedy getting into the wall there, earning his Darlington Stripe.
Yeah, but, Landon, correct me if I'm wrong here. So, I mean, all these cars are going to get a little bit beat up. Are aerodynamics really that crucial here?
They are more crucial than you think they are, because if you think back to the early days of this racetrack used to be known as a super speedway instead of just Darlington Raceway. Not until they built Daytona, when Bill France built Daytona back in the day, this track here was one of the fastest racetracks on the circuit.
Oh, we saw a little bit of action there with Rhett Tucker and the 54 of Drew Ballesteros there as they got into each other. I believe that Austin Reedy may have caught a little bit of that as well. So definitely some bumping and grinding and banging going on down there.
Yeah, beating and banging. These drivers want to get that position, and being patient. They said they want to be patient, but it's not looking like they're being patient right now. As we see Austin Reedy try and make a pass there on Drew Ballesteros. Can he get it through turns 1 and 2? It's looking likely not, but they're still side by side as we go down to the backstretch.
Man, it's so tough to do. While this is going on, we're going to check in up front really quickly because it looks like Tristan Bailey is starting to track down Vincent Cortez.
Yeah, and like I said, tire wear. That's going to be the play tonight, and Cortez might have used up his tires just a little bit more than Tristan Bailey has, but right now it's looking like it's staggering out to a 0.3 of a second lead, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that one as we see Aaron Gerwitz battling with Drew Ballesteros and Emerson Arden right behind him.
Yeah, Emerson Arden running that number 57 car here tonight. He usually runs in the Cup Series, but he jumped down because his teammate Adrian Schumacher wasn't able to be here tonight. So Adrian Schumacher, one of the top drivers in this league, I believe he's slotted in the third or fourth, or I believe the fifth position on the standings. So again, you get those drop weeks, so that'll help.
3 wide down the front stretch there. Arden making a great pass right there. That's a 2-for-1 special for Arden. And look, he's in the top 10 catching Drew Ballesteros.
And while that is all going on, just a little bit behind Greg Olenek. Oh, we do have a caution. We got a caution back towards the back of the track here. Nathan De La Rosa involved in that. Oh, we got a little bit of action there. The 35, that is Purnell, I believe. Austin Purnell.
And I believe I saw Mike Lepicki there too.
And so Austin Purnell running the Bobby Labonte scheme, and actually we were lucky enough to have Bobby Labonte kind of give us a shout out at the beginning of last season. So kind of a cool little throwback there as well.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte was a great driver, and I do love seeing that green interstate battery scheme. That's one of my favorites as well, but Jordan Bain's got to beat for sure, I tell you that much.
Oh, huge hit here. So here, we'll back this up a little bit because that screen took a little bit longer to get going. But this is Kyle Wimble. Again, he's running the 91 car, but he is usually the one. And he just gets into it, Nathan De La Rosa. And then huge hit there.
Well,
from the 3, I believe that was. That's Austin Moore from Jonathan Beyer Racing. So a couple of JBR cars are involved here.
I was going to say, well, it looks like JBR is not going to – that chat is going to be rowdy as Kyle Wimble accidentally got into 2 of his teammates there.
Yeah, we'll see this again as we've got Austin Moore just nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, and then you saw there Purnell had nowhere to go after that, and then Lepicki got into Purnell, so Lepicki now was in both wrecks and also got his Darlington Stripe, so that car is hurt.
Well, let's go and we'll check this out from Lepicki's point of view here. Oh, and he blinks out just a little bit there, so maybe we'll catch the end of this here. Yeah, he just gets into the back. That's usually Josh Marcy's number there, but that's Austin Purnell here tonight, and so he is going to have some damage also. So lots of damage there, but hey, we're going down to pit road. Landon Lacy, how's it looking?
Believe to expect everybody to get 4 tires here. That was a pretty good small green flag run that we had there, but tire wear is so key here. Tire fall off. From looking at Vincent Cortez's lap times, his fastest was a 30.1 and his last lap was a 31.1, so a full second tire fall off, and so 4 tires and fuels for these guys.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here. I don't know if Derek Da Silva actually pitted there. My scoring is showing that he did not. So we'll have to take a look and see. I believe he was towards the back of the pack when that wreck happened anyway. So he may not have pitted, but Vincent Cortez is going to come out and take that lead once again. Tristan Bailey is going to start in second. Jordan Bain in third. James Shane Wolf there in fourth.
These drivers are doing anything they can right now. to get that track position. And track position is going to be key here, especially coming out of the pits. You know, you don't want to make a mistake, and you don't want to do anything that you aren't. You don't want to mess up your strategy at all, because you could lose track position like at the snap of a finger, and your race could be over.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks where when you're done with this track, you are just absolutely exhausted. It is such a difficult track to run because both corners are are completely different, and then you have to deal with just cars all over the place.
Yeah, and getting into the back of the pack would definitely hurt someone. And if you're a Vincent Cortez and you make a mistake, you slide through the box and you go to the back of the pack, then you might get caught up in those big wrecks that we've seen so far. So doing everything perfect at Darlington is key.
Let's take a look as they're going to get regathered up here, hopefully this time around. But it looks like Rhett Tucker, he has moved up 13 positions since the start of this race. He is up in the top 5. And then biggest mover of the night so far, Jose Castellanos, back here in 16th position. He started off in 35th, but he is up here. I believe that's another Skull throwback here.
Yeah, I'm not too aware of the Skull throwbacks. Again, this is before my time, so I don't know who drove it and whatnot, but I love seeing these throwback schemes and everybody who participated in it. And as you see, the 52 running a Davey Allison, I'm going to assume, because
kind of like that old Texaco, yeah. Is that old Texaco?
I believe so. It looks like a Davey Allison paint scheme to me. So these drivers are out here running their throwbacks, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Well, Rob Yost is out there in our YouTube chat. He will let us know who every single one of these drivers is. I guarantee it.
Yeah, he probably will. He's probably barking at me right now saying, that's this driver, that's this driver. So I'm pretty sure I got some late Discord messages here as we go. Green flag, Vincent Cortez not getting a good start as he did the other two restarts.
That's right. Tristan Bailey right there on his tail. Jordan Bain not too far behind now. James Shanewolf is having to fend off Rhett Tucker, and he's going to let Rhett Tucker in. So Rhett's going to move up into 4th position now as he just continues his climb here. If these top 3 aren't careful, then Rhett Tucker's going to take over this race shortly.
Yeah, Rhett Tucker is. And I want to cue something in here. I got a message from my father who's watching the stream right now. The driver of the Skull car was Harry Grant.
Harry Gant, yeah.
Harry Gant, I believe.
Harry Gant, that's right. That's right.
Thank you. Shout out to my dad who's watching the stream. Now back to the race. Rhett Tucker in 4th, trying to chase down Jordan Bain.
Yeah, a lot of people remember Harry Gant from his cameo there in Days of Thunder, where Tom Cruise's character runs into the side of Harry Gant. He gets hit in there by Russ Wheeler. Anyway, yellow flag here. So
another yellow flag.
So that's Bo Tiffany.
Synchronized broadcasting right there. That was, Sean.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened to Bo Tiffany as it looks like he was sandwiched here between Corey Saucier and the 66 of Nathan De La Rosa.
As you see off the corner here, gets way loose and just gets into the wall and back up the racetrack. Luckily, nobody else hit him, so everyone else is fine, but he just got way too loose.
Yeah, that's just a single car. Yep, and that is going to cause some serious damage to that car. Not to mention getting the EOL for causing the caution as well. So his opportunities to win this race may be out the window. Let's see what he can do with it, though.
Yeah, and he's going to try and get anything he can at this point, because the race isn't over. It's only lap 31. There's still a lot of chances for wrecks to happen. So I think he should just try and stay out here and see what spots he can pick up at this point.
Well, under our 3rd caution of the evening here, and we just pitted Landon. I'm not sure we're going to see anybody.
Yeah, I don't expect to see anybody here either. I don't believe there's enough laps put on these tires to need another set. We could see some guys from the back take advantage and possibly gain try to get some fresh tires. But looking down on pit road right now, I do not see anybody other than guys that have some damage that need to be fixed. I don't see anybody that is taking advantage of that at the moment.
Well, just looking at these lap times or these pit times, there is a lot of cars out there that have damage. Seth Reed in there right now getting some damage repaired. Daniel Keith had just a little bit to fix there. Stan Houseman fixing up that Beer Street Journal car as well. Austin Purnell getting some more damage fixed. So basically everybody from about 21st all the way down has had damage. So only a few drivers that have kept it clean, including Greg Olenek. Greg Olenek had some damage because he had 24 seconds in the pits, which is about 10 seconds longer than usual. So he's got something going on with that car.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Zala. Yeah, he came down. He's got a little bit of rear end damage. I saw him when he stopped in his pit stall. It looked like he got hit in the back. Checking up for one of those wrecks that happened in front of him earlier, and just had a little bit of rear end damage to take care of. And
now that I believe I wanted to talk a little bit more about that Greg Olenek car because we skipped away from it during that green flag run there, and I believe that is a Cale Yarborough paint scheme. Correct me if I'm wrong. My dad will correct me if I'm wrong at some point as we see Seth Reed get into him a little bit there, but Cale Yarborough was a really good driver back in the day, and I really do like that paint scheme, that orange and white. That paint scheme is awesome.
Yeah, Greg Olenek, a really good painter on iRacing. He has designed a lot of great paints out there. So really doing a good job there. Another great painter on iRacing is Devin Zimmerman. And so he has painted all of the tank racing paint schemes as well, and he's been doing that for the last couple of seasons as well.
Well, I do have to say, let you on a little information here, Sean. Devin did actually not paint, only painted his paint scheme. Devin has a lot of military issues going on, military stuff going on, and work being out late. So the person that painted Cortez's paint scheme was our very own pit reporter, Landon Lacy.
Well, Landon Lacy, a man of many talents. We appreciate him being a pit reporter, a broadcaster, a championship leader in the Cup Series, a 5-time winner at SR, 6-time winner?
6-time winner.
6-time winner. I apologize. My apologies. 6-time winner at SRN and a painter now as well. So if there's anything that you can't do, I guarantee you Landon Lacy can do it.
Wouldn't say that.
we gotta entertain ourselves during the yellows here.
I can't juggle.
That's the one thing that I do well. That's it. That's the one thing I do. So Vincent Cortez will get our restart here. Tristan Bailey on the outside once again. Vincent gets away a little bit better this time. Tristan's not going to let him get too far out there, but a much better jump this time for Vincent Cortez.
Yeah, Cortez really got out there. He's putting his name out there. He's jumping those restarts, making sure he can clear and get away from Tristan Bailey, because Tristan Bailey's been tracking him down a lot, and he's, again, tire wear, and he's got to save those tires and hope that Tristan Bailey will make some mistakes.
Well, Tristan Bailey doesn't make as many mistakes as people would like him to, especially when he's on their tail. So beware of that. He is a great driver out there. Another great driver, Rhett Tucker, taking a peek to the inside of Jordan Bain, trying to figure out when he's going to try to make this move.
Yeah, he was looking for it there down the front stretch, but he wasn't quite able to get it. And let's see if he looks for it on the backstretch here, and he's gonna peek, he's not gonna get it. He's trying to get past Jordan Bain, but be really patient about it.
Well, one guy that took that move is Adam Pettit, and he is going to the inside. Now, Derek Da Silva has kind of wrecked out in the back. No caution yet, but Adam Pettit not able to make that pass on James Shane Wolf.
Yeah, and Darlington, again, is going to be hard to pass. James Shane Wolf looking to block the inside there, and Pettit's going to get loose off the straightaway there, off the corner. He's going to lose a couple spots now. Yeah,
one spot to his teammate Ted Wreckage, another spot to Austin Reedy. And so Adam Pettit's going to drop back to 8th, and he is probably going to send me a text message tomorrow that says, "Get the camera off of me, Sean."
And look at this, Tristan Bailey tracking down Vincent Cortez, and it's just getting ever so close between these two drivers. These two drivers aren't even close to third. These drivers are battling it out.
I think Tristan understands that if he's going to win this race, he needs to pass Vincent Cortez quickly, because pit strategies being what they are with all these cautions going on, it's going to be really, really tough to pass on the track. You need to make that one pass, and then you should be locked in for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and again, Darlington is tough to pass, so putting that pass in early is going to be something that Tristan Bailey would like to do, but Cortez is definitely going to be trying to block him and make sure that he doesn't get past him.
Well, Cortez is keeping it there at that 0.3 of a second margin. Now, a little bit further back, we got David Duke there on the inside trying to make some moves.
Yeah, David Duke stuck on that inside lane. I don't think it's going to work. He's going to get clear of the 52, but I don't know what's going to happen here. The 52 is going to try and get past David Duke and get that position back. And it looks like it's going to get really tight here, and the 52 gets the position back.
Michael Larch makes that pass on David Duke. And Michael, again, one of those drivers from JW Racing who joined a little bit late, but he is doing everything he can to work his way not only into the team playoffs, but also into the individual playoffs.
Well, Jose Castellanos.
Yellow flag.
And another caution.
And Justin Rideout is sideways on the track here. And so we will go back and find out what happened there. We had a few little dust-ups in those last 3 or 4 laps. Only this one brought out a caution. So we will go back and find out exactly what happened here with Justin Rideout. And it looks like he's riding somewhat close to Brian Huntley Jr. from JBR.
Yeah, as we can see, Joe's to the bottom.
Oh, he just hit the wall.
Yeah, Lucy hit the wall.
He just slammed the wall. So that is not a Darlington Stripe. That is a Darlington Dent.
That is an insane wreck. It just got away from him there. He gets it. It probably got tight for him, and he just hits the wall, and there she goes.
Ooh, huge hit. And you'll be able to see on this next view exactly how quickly that wall comes up and bites you.
Very quick at Darlington, and he just got really tight there, and it didn't help him, and just sent him into the wall, inside the wall.
And so he'll have to go and get some damage fixed on that. Hey, we got some pit action going on.
Yes, sir, we do. Some of the leaders came down. Most of them are taking 4 tires. However, we do have a couple guys that decided to stay out here. Greg Olenek being one of them. He will retain the lead. I believe Nathan De La Rosa and some of the other JBR cars decided to stay out as well.
Yeah, and De La Rosa and some of those JBR cars, they were already a lap down, it looks like. But Greg Olenek, he will take the lead away from Vincent Cortez while Vincent is in pit road. And Greg and Vincent, who are having this big battle for the individual championship, they are going to do battle on the track here. But Greg's going to have that disadvantage of 15-lap old tires.
Yeah, and Vincent Cortez is going to be starting on the outside lane, and the outside lane is where you want to be on a restart, so he's just got to get a good jump and try and get around Greg Olenek.
Well, and Greg can choose to that outside lane, so he does have that option, and he'll make that choice once we go 1 to green here. So we'll take a look and see what he does with that. But again, we were talking, if you just get some good restarts here, then you really could hold off those guys behind you, even on newer tires.
Do something. He can make something work here, but it depends on what lane he chooses. I'm assuming if he wanted to, I'm assuming he's going to choose the outside lane, but it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. It looks like he's taking the bottom for the moment, but I would assume he'd take the outside lane, and that's where you want to be on a restart.
And so we will take a look at that. But in the meantime, let's talk about this Revved Up for the Cause one more time here. So if you have your phones, you can scan that QR code there and go to our donation page for the Revved Up for the Cause. We are raising money for Sadie, a little girl with cancer. We've raised money for her in the past. And so really enjoy her. If you ever see her picture, she has the most beautiful smile you'll ever see on a child. Just absolutely gorgeous little girl. Lots of prizes. We have all sorts of stuff for the teams, for the individuals, even for the viewers out there. So definitely be sure to not miss this broadcast. So Saturday, September 11th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central, or you can like or subscribe our YouTube channel, and when we schedule the broadcast, you'll get a notification as to when that broadcast is. So that helps out a lot. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and that will help you out as well. But we're going to Talladega, man. A lot different than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it's a super speedway. It's a big super speedway, and I love Talladega, so I'm excited to race for it, and I know I'm just being added in at the last second, but I do love racing Talladega.
And we will put that code back up there, that QR code back up on the screen here in just a little while. But for right now, Greg Olenek is going to get our restart, and we're going to see if he can hold off Vincent Cortez and Tristan Bailey on new tires.
Green flag is out, and he's going to get a jump, but Cortez is... He's going to try and clear Cortez, but he's not going to be able to do it.
He got him.
We got him, but can Cortez fight back?
Man, Greg got a great jump there. And again, Greg has been working with Kane Cook exclusively every single week, and he just gets better and better every single week. So does not shock me at all to see him out there. Let's see if he can hold off Vincent Cortez at all. Now, in the meantime, we saw Rhett Tucker get his Darlington Stripe. He tapped the outside. Oh, and now he's way into the wall.
Oh, no, that's going to jumble up a bunch of drivers here, but 3 wide down the front stretch. Can they...
Ted Rekich sideways.
Devin Zimmerman sideways. A lot of sideways action going on right now.
And we are still green somehow, some way. Oh, and another Darlington Stripe. That's Aaron Gerwitz back there up against the wall. This has gotten crazy.
Yeah, this restart jumbled everything up, and it's getting insane right now. It's getting wild out here, and I love to see it as we see Vincent Cortez on the back end of Greg Olenek going to the inside. Can he clear him? He's going to get tight, and he gets it. Cortez back to the lead.
Tristan Bailey trying to make the same exact move, and he does. So Greg Olenek falls back to 3rd place. Now on the inside, Jordan Bain going to try to take that spot away from his teammate Greg Olenek, and he will as well. So 3 cars passing Greg Olenek on those old tires.
Yeah, those old tires don't help Greg Olenek whatsoever. It pushes him back to 4th, and he's going to keep on losing spots as we go on. I don't know. He might be able to keep it up there. It's looking like he's able to keep it up there right now, but old tires definitely do not help at Darlington.
Well, to be completely honest, I mean, that's a good move for Greg because he was back there marred in about 20th position. So even if he gets around this track, another 15 times and then there's a caution or something like that, he's going to come in and he's still going to be in the top 10. So really good net move there for Greg Olenek, even though I'm sure he's struggling in that car right now.
Yeah, that was I liked the call there. That was a smart call. If he gets a caution, he gets a jump on tires from the leaders. And as we see Emerson Ardon right there passing Michael Larch, and he's up to the 12th position right now, really doing well for himself and putting on a show for his teammate that wasn't able to come be here tonight, Adrian Schumacher.
Yeah, but right now, the biggest mover of the night so far, Jack Hedgecock's in the classic Stryker Motorsports red car. And this is one of those cars that I actually helped design back when I owned Stryker Motorsports. So kind of a little bit of nostalgia here for me. That's a throwback for me.
I do love to see the Sean Griffith throwback there. It's a really nice scheme. I really do like the color patterns and the way it's put out there.
Always fun to see Stryker Motorsports on the track. And now we've got a lot of shuffling going on. We've got Emerson Ardon down on the inside. We've got, I believe that's Drew Ballesteros trying to get on the inside. That's Michael Larch on the inside. So just all sorts of shuffling going on back here. Jose Castellanos back here in the 4th. Remember, we talked about this Skull car a little bit earlier. And Robert Yost had an interesting tidbit right here for Harry Gant, and NASCAR actually made a Harry Gant rule because Harry would stop on the track to bring out a caution. So they made that causation rule that if you stop on the track to bring out a caution, then you get an automatic 1-lap penalty, and most dirt tracks will DQ you as well. So thank you for that tidbit out there, Robert Yost. I'm going to go ahead and name Robert Yost like the official NASCAR, or the official Speed Racing Network historian for the night.
Yeah, Robert Yost bringing in a lot of history, and we do appreciate that.
Oh!
Brandon goes around. No, that is not what you want to see from the Tony Stewart paint scheme and Brandon Domain.
And we are still green, believe it or not. Even with that, we are still green. And so we are still going as he tries to get those tires back up underneath that car, but he will drop all the way down to about 23rd position, and he will likely lose more if he comes in to get that thing fixed.
And it looks like he's not going to do so, so he's lost some positions there, and wow, how loose he got off that corner just didn't help him at all, and he got into that wall, and that's what happens at Darlington.
Speaking of losing positions, Greg Olenek, who restarted this race in first, is all the way back to 9th. Still a net gain for him, I believe. So I don't think it was a bad move for him to make. It's just he is struggling right now on those old tires.
Yeah, old tires at Darlington are the worst thing ever. I'll tell you that much. Old tires at Darlington do not work here whatsoever, as we see Jack Hedgecock look to make a move on Olenek to drop him down to the 10th spot, and he gets it. So Greg Olenek from 1st to 10th in the matter of 4 or 5 laps. I don't know, Sean. I don't know if that was a good move.
Well, I mean, and he's not really fighting these guys that hard, which is a good thing for Greg, because he could fight these guys and they could get really annoyed. They could bump him. They could cause wrecks, that sort of thing. He is doing a great job just being patient, just letting these guys go around. His car will come back underneath him eventually. So it's just a matter of when. But for now, he is just dropping like a rock.
Yeah, and it's hurting him. But again, a caution could come out and he could get lucky and pits and then be ahead of the leaders on tires, but it's not looking good for him so far. Oh, ever so tight action right there.
Yeah, that's his teammate behind him, Ted Rekich. So pretty sure that he's not going to force the issue too much against Ted. He's going to let Ted go by at his best convenience here. So I don't think Greg's going to hold him up for too long. But up front, Vincent Cortez about to start getting held up here by some lap traffic.
As we see Justin Rideout just let him by, not holding him up too much, and now he's got the 20 car of Brandon Domain, who's also going to let him by. So easy work of lap traffic right there for Vincent Cortez. Both of them just letting him go by there.
Yeah, good on those guys for just letting them by. Again, they could force the issue here, but really no reason to probably cause a caution in doing that. But Vincent Cortez still maintains that 0.3 of a second lead on Tristan Bailey, but they have broken away from third place Jordan Bain by about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, they're pulling away, and I'm looking at Vincent Cortez right now, just hoping that he's not mirror driving. And you know, Tristan Bailey is close, but he's just got to keep it off the wall. Don't mirror drive. Don't make any mistakes. You have to be perfect at Darlington. That's all this track is about, perfectness. How perfect you are not getting into the wall.
And let's go back just a little ways here. So Aaron Gerwitz back here in 17th position, starting to put a little bit of pressure on David Duke here.
It's looking like Aaron Gerwitz might try and get to him. I don't know. He's going to stay behind him for now as he may try and go around the outside here. Will he be able to get it? No, he's going to stay behind David Duke for the moment. But will Gerwitz take the big send into turn 1, sorry, I thought we were looking at the racetrack the wrong way, but it looks like he's going to stay right behind David Duke for the moment.
And I'm trying to back up front here. Vincent Cortez, Tristan Bailey has caught up to him now, so within 0.2 of a second here. So it is about to get a little bit fun. Looking right ahead, he's got some more lap traffic. That is Nathan Nixon in the 98.
Yeah, Tristan Bailey tracking him down really quick. Bailey is doing everything he can to try and get around Cortez as he's literally pushing Cortez almost down the back straightaway there. Brandon Domain down the pit road now.
Well, yeah, he's just getting out of the way. I mean, he is just staying out of everybody's way, trying to keep this race green as it possibly can be here at the Lady in Black.
Yeah, and Cortez now pulling away a little bit. I wonder if he's trying to save tire and not and just keep the car clean or what he's doing here, but Bailey's catching him and then he's just getting away from him on the corners.
Yeah, but catching him and passing him are two completely different things here, especially 20 laps into this run.
Yeah, and you know one thing, there's dirty air in these cars, and Tristan Bailey's right in that factor for dirty air. Dirty air will definitely not help Bailey here, and it'll almost kind of put him into the wall a little bit there. He's got to make sure he doesn't get into that wall with the dirty air he's getting from Cortez.
Yeah, a little bit of a race go, and the car just goes south there. So just lets them right by, which is a very classy move for that car to let them by. But now Tristan Bailey on the inside taking a peek. He's not going to be able to get there this time around.
He's going to have to, like you said earlier, Sean, he's going to have to try and pass him quickly if Bailey wants to win this race.
Going back a little ways while this race is heating up, Emerson Ardon side by side there with Stan Houseman for just a brief time. Stan Houseman going to get that position away for him. This is back in 18th position, so still plenty of time for them to make some moves and plenty of distance for them to make
Tristan
up.
Bailey.
Oh my gosh, Tristan. And we do have a yellow now, and that is our second place driver severely damaged here.
Oh, no, not Tristan Bailey getting into it there, and wow. Well, that definitely hurts Tristan Bailey's night. Again, if this track is about how perfect you are, and Tristan Bailey now damaged might hurt his chance to finish up and almost win this race. He was getting there.
Well, he was side by side with a lap car. That's the 63 of Brian Huntley Jr., and Cortez gets around him. Bailey kind of gets stuck there, tries to get around him as well. And I'm not really sure what happened there, but they got together, and then Tristan Bailey goes almost flipping.
Flipping there. Wow. What a ride Tristan Bailey took, excuse me, and not much he could do. He was trying to follow Cortez and just got into the 63 there, and he almost got flipped over. And I think that's about going to end Tristan Bailey's chances of winning this race.
That is heartbreaking. And I'm not really sure what happened there, where it kind of looked like Brian was coming down just a little bit there. So we'll have to take a closer look at that, and we'll let the admins take a look because they always give a cause caution penalty out. So and it looks like some net code there too as well. So they were side by side, but there was some distance between them also.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, racing deal, and it happens. It's Darlington. You're gonna get close to another car, and it just didn't unfortunately work out in Tristan Bailey's favor there.
All right, Landon Lacy. So I know a lot of these guys pitted, and a lot of them are still in the pits trying to get some repairs and that sort of thing. What is your pit strategy at this point?
Well, I mean, what is it, lap 63 now, 64? Basically from here, it's still a one-stop race. You know, we're looking at probably about 45 laps on fuel. So these guys cannot make it from here. They'll be just a tad bit short by about 5 laps. Actually, I mean, they're right there on the window. So it's just going to... I don't think we're done with cautions for sure. But I don't think tires... I think 45 laps on tires is a little bit demanding. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with Greg Olenek where he was on about 25 lap old tires. Actually, I think it was less than that. It may have been only 15 lap old tires, and he dropped like a rock. So unless everyone else is staying out there with you, I think you kind of have to pit with the group, don't you?
Right, and even though Greg had 15 laps on his tires, he only had 8 green flag laps on them. But still 8 green flag laps. I mean, you see the way he dropped as he did. You know, we get a caution here in 10 laps, and some of these guys, I mean, you look at some of the guys, you know, you think back to Seth Reed in 10th. I mean, he could come down after a 10-lap green flag run and take tires and be possibly, you know, 7/10 to a second faster than everybody else.
Yeah, the only problem with these short track, and I keep calling this a short track. It's not really a short track. It's 1.366. But anyway, the problem with these shorter tracks, there you go, that's what I'm gonna say, is if you go into the pits, people are lapping you, and they might not be lapping you once, they might be lapping you twice. And so if that's the case, yeah, you're gonna gain 1 or 2 seconds per lap, but you also got to catch up 1 or 2 laps. And even if a caution comes out, can you catch up both of those laps in that time?
Well, thankfully, here at Darlington, your average pit road time is about 45 seconds, and they're running about 30-second lap time. So if you can stay within 15 seconds of the leader, I would say, you could pit and only go one lap down.
All right. Well, we will check back in with you in just a few moments, more than likely, because this is Darlington. So Vincent Cortez is going to get that restart there on the inside. Jordan Bain is going to be to his outside, and then Austin Reedy up there in third position.
Yeah, we see James Shane Wolf in fourth, Adam Pettit in fifth. As we see the restart, everyone expecting Cortez to jump it, and he does not. He checks the field up, and Cortez makes a good jump as he made Jordan Bain think that he was going to go early, and he didn't.
Yeah, and you saw there that that I believe it was James Shane Wolf. No, I'm sorry. It was Austin Reedy. Got a little bit checked up there, and he got run into the back of by Adam Pettit. And now both of them are going to start falling back a little bit as Adam Pettit tries to make that move on the inside.
Well, what a jump start there from Jordan Bain, and what a move by Vincent Cortez. I'm thinking that he was thinking everybody knows I'm going to start this race early. As we see a wreck down the front stretch. I don't know what's going on back there, but they saved it.
Seth Reed hard into the wall. It is still green right now, but he is damaged, and he is damaged hard.
Yeah, he is hurt big time as he kept hitting that wall after the fact. So his steering is definitely offset there. But going back to Vincent Cortez, as I was saying earlier,
is that Tristan Bailey that was sideways on the track also? I believe it was. And now we will get a yellow flag as Bo Tiffany there on the inside. So, man, what a disaster.
Yeah, that was a interesting restart that started with Cortez, checking up the field a little bit. And then it just got wild after that.
Well, we're going to try to sort this thing out. That was a wreck fest going on. Let's go back and see what happened here. Let's start off with what happened with Tristan Bailey. And it looks like he was trying to avoid Seth Reed. And so, Seth, you'll see him just getting hard into the wall, just trying to keep it up on the wall so everybody can get by. Tristan Bailey down on the inside, and he just got a little bit too deep into that corner and came straight up into Jose Castellanos. He went sideways. Caution still didn't come out at that point. Austin Purnell got into him there as well, and then he gets restarted. Now, once that happens, then we jump back to Bo Tiffany here. And, a big wreck there, and Bo's just kind of the innocent bystander.
Yeah, he is the innocent. Nothing he could have done there. Definitely hard to take in. But I wanted to go back to that replay a little bit, Sean, if we can, and look at Emerson Arden's view of this one.
Oh, he just skated right through that thing, didn't he?
That was insane. But then you see it there. Now he's looking at it, and then there's another wreck. Oh, maybe not.
No, the other wreck happened a little bit behind him. So let's go back once again here. And Tristan Bailey, you can see he's down there on the inside. There's just no way he's going to get that car to turn at that speed.
He was going too fast in the corner. Yeah, he did.
Nathan Nixon involved, Stan Houseman involved, all sorts of people involved there. Now, here comes Bo Tiffany here, and we will go into his view. And just wrecking happens right in front of him. That's Corey Saucier there that got into the wall. I mean, he got slammed into the wall. So all sorts of stuff going on this caution. That was insane.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. And looking at it now, Tristan Bailey has left the session, and man, what a race he had early on, and now look at him just, it sucks. It's bad luck, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's Darlington, but what a run Tristan Bailey had early on.
And we're going to keep our eye here on Bo Tiffany, and you'll see the 19, that's Houseman. He was trying to get around Austin Purnell there, and just didn't have any room on the outside, and then Bo Tiffany collected on that as well. Wow, big damage. But as we go back up front, Vincent Cortez, Jordan Bain lead this thing. And, I mean, after everything that's gone on, here's what's going on as far as team-wise. Jordan Bain, Ted Rekich, and Adam Pettit, 3 drivers from Rev Racing, they are all in the top 5. So right now, this is a great race for Rev Racing, who already has the team point lead.
Yeah, it's just giving him more backing in the points and helping him out very well in the points. And Tank Racing is... the only person in the top 10 for Tank Racing is our leader, Vincent Cortez, and Tank Racing not having a good night. So with Rev Racing, if we're at the end of the race and this is where they finish right now, Rev Racing would just have a lot more points on Tank Racing.
You know, I was looking back at the lap 63 pit stops, which, you know, just 10 laps ago, and everybody from 12th back had damage to repair. Everybody from 12th back had damage to repair, and so just an absolute damage fest out there. This has been a crazy race, and again, just like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, if you keep it clean here, you are going to win, and that is exactly what Vincent Cortez is doing.
Yeah, and I take that comment from my great friend and Cup Series driver Reese Schaefer. He always says stuff like that. And we'll see where Vincent Cortez goes now to the line. Green flag is back out. Cortez getting a better jump than he did last time.
Yeah, Cortez is going to get way out there in front. Jordan Bain and Ted Rekich are going to be side by side here. Rekich is going to get that angle there. I believe Jordan Bain just kind of let him have that instead of racing his own teammate there. James Shane Wolf, who's been relatively quiet all night long, just kind of been up there in that top 10 area, not really making a ton of moves, but here he is in the top 5 in 4th place, looking at Jordan Bain, trying to figure out a way around him.
Here's what I want to know. Where did Ted Rekich come from? On the back bumper of Vincent Cortez. Where did he come from? He was running back down in 10th, 11th, back there, and now he's on the back bumper of Vincent Cortez looking to get the lead.
Yeah, again, one of those drivers that, I mean, I call him one of the cleanest drivers in the league. He works so hard to get around this track cleanly, and you can see a little bit of damage there on the back end. But for the most part, he has been extremely clean all night long here tonight, and because of that, he is super fast out there.
And what a race it was for Ted Rekich, racing from the back up to second and getting his way to the front. And he might get Cortez here. He's looking quicker than Cortez at the moment. He's on the back bumper. He's looking for it.
Yeah, you can hear he's having to get off the gas so he doesn't get into the back of Cortez. So he is definitely a little bit faster. He just has to wait for the right moment. You don't want to send it in on the outside line there that deep, that hard. If you do, you're going to bounce off the wall yourself and your race is going to be over. So you've got to take your time. You've got to wait for the spot. You've got to wait for Vincent Cortez to make a mistake.
Huh? Just as we thought Vincent Cortez might have an easier time with Tristan Bailey off his back bumper, well, he's got a new challenger now, and that's the 10 of Ted Rekich.
And Ted is just looking at every single angle here. He is just waiting for the right moment to strike. And if you go inside the cockpit, you can see and you can hear. Take a look at his tachometer there. So as he's getting into this corner, he is going to back off sharply so he doesn't get into the back of Vincent Cortez. So right now, Ted Rekich is just kind of biding his time.
Yeah, and he's looking for Vinny to make a mistake. Oh, ever so loose there for Ted Rekich, but man, you know, Vincent Cortez has had pressure all day. Just when he thought he wasn't about to have pressure, he gets that pressure back.
Well, as a special treat here tonight, we are going to bring in one of our Cup Series drivers and likely one of the most beloved drivers in all of Speed Racing Network, as well as one of the winningest drivers in Speed Racing Network, Dean Brummett. Welcome back to the booth, buddy.
Hey guys, what y'all into tonight?
Man, we are into all sorts of cautions. This lady in black is beating our guys senseless.
Man, I tell you, I had a very, very fortunate opportunity to go here Sunday night to see the Southern 500 for the first time in my life. So, you know, this season I've got to see all of NASCAR's crown jewels but the Daytona 500. And man, I tell you, I wish I would have taken our good sponsor, Beer Street Journal's advice a little bit. Oh, contact right here between the top two.
Yeah.
But, oh, big contact, big run.
Yeah, Ted Reckitt's trying to find any way he can around Vincent Cortez. He's tired of waiting at this point, and so it's just a matter of how is he going to do it. That inside line might not work for him, so he's going to back off and he's going to wait another lap or two.
Yeah, you got to cool those tires down, Sean, just to get another run at it. But, man, what I was saying, I wish I would have taken Beer Street Journal's advice here and maybe drank a little more responsibly, as I'm certain Greg Olenek could definitely tell you a story or two after Sunday night. But, man, we had a blast, and, this is just such a fun racetrack, such a challenging racetrack. And man, there's just nothing better than when we finally get to put away for a little bit in the Cup Series that aero-dependent low horsepower package, and we get to bring the 750 horsepower out. Man, that is where you begin to see the talent shine.
Well, I was going to ask, when you go and you see a race like that, knowing how good iRacing is at duplicating these tracks on their server, what do you see from the race itself that can help you here?
Well, I can tell you I'm seeing half the cars because they were a little doubled up and blurry Sunday. But no, it's really cool, like when you've had all the exposure that you can at the track. It's just different. Like, I can't really explain it, but a couple of my favorite tracks that are out there, like Bristol and Martinsville, tracks that I've gotten to go to quite a bit. Tracks I've gotten to actually see in person, and just I don't know, Sean. Like, it's a hard thing to describe, but when you've gotten to see them in person, it's almost like it manifests itself somewhat here into the sim.
Well, man, it is definitely good to have you back up here in the booth. This is a throwback in itself, man. We thought we'd never have you back up here again. You were working and all that stuff, but great to have you back up here, buddy.
Well, buddy, it's good to see you. Jacob, good to see you also. Landon, I see you down there also as well. It's really cool. For the weekend in Darlington, I actually got to visit with some of my sponsors and hang out a little bit with them. And I know my main sponsor in Sweeper One, my buddy Scott Wallace. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm working on my throwback paint scheme for Sunday night, and what I'm going to be throwing back to is actually Buddy Baker's 1988 Crisco car that he ran in the Cup Series, because Scott Wallace, trouble, Austin Reading trying to save it. I think he's going to get it. He will. But I'm throwing back to that car here, Sean. 3 wide. Because he was actually on that pit crew, so he doesn't know it yet, but I've got a guy working on it, putting the paint together, and I think it's going to turn out really, really awesome here for Sunday night.
Well, man, if I know Dean Brummett at all, I know he is going to pull out all the stops, and he's going to put on a show at Darlington as well.
Well, I tell you what, here with 25 laps in this one to go, Sean, I think there's a show brewing here. I've been watching a little bit, listening to the broadcast on my way home from work tonight, and I tell you right now, these tires have gotten to the point in the run where they are just not handling good. As you see Reedy get in the wall again, these guys right now, a wall again. These Darlington Stripes are coming in big time. Right now you're at the handling part of the race where, you pretty much got what you got. You saw Ted Reckitt a little bit ago going after Vincent Cortez, and, you can still pass here. You just have to know how to set it up, and the way you set up these passes is just not burning your stuff up. So if there's another caution that comes out between now here and the end of the race, you're taking 4 tires every single time, without a question. You just got to go through here. You just got to go through here at the time being and save what you can.
Absolutely, you do. Man, Jacob, I know you're relatively new to the booth. Dean is like the class. You've met Dean before. He's the classiest dude you'll ever meet.
Dean is my favorite person. I love Dean Brummett.
I'm telling you, he is one of those guys that he knows more about racing in his little finger than I do in my entire body.
I was just sitting here listening to him talk. I love Dean. I love his voice. Not to be weird or anything, but I could just listening to Dean talk for hours. I tell you that much.
Well, I love it, Sean. Racing, it's always, it kind of has to be a passion for you to wind up here on the iRacing service, and especially up here in the booth with all these leagues, and just to be able to go to Darlington this past week, it was so cool for me just to be able to soak in the history that there is at this track. I've been to Bristol, I've been to Charlotte, I've been to Martinsville. And yes, there's a lot of history at those tracks. As you see, Jack Hitchcock's looking here. Oh, trouble on the front stretch. He turns him. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if that was net code or what, but the 52 of Michael Larch is around. There is no caution because that's out of the racing group there, Jacob.
Yeah, there's no caution. He got on the racing surface, but I mean, not all the way down there. So,
big wreck in the back. More crashing going around.
Into it.
Corey Saucier around in that Jeff Gordon throwback. Still no caution flag.
Hey, hate to jump in here real quick, guys, but our leader just got in the wall in turn 1 and 2.
Well, hey, no reason for you to hate jumping in there. How you doing, Landon?
I'm doing good, buddy. I've been watching this battle up front. I've been watching the 28 car slowly run down this, our leader, Vincent Cortez, and I think Vincent noticed it and got into the wall in 1 and 2.
But, I see here Bain is up here into second, starting to chase him down, and, 20 laps to go here, like we were mentioning. This is really where the handling aspect comes in. Who has controlled their cars the best? And you could come off this turn 2 here. Landon, I'm sure you have run it, and Jacob as well. You come off this turn 2 here, and if you hit the corner the right way, you're chattering the rear tires off the corner. I mean, it is bouncing. The suspension's hopping. There's so much load and unload with it. As you see Greg Olenek there battling the number 54 of Ballesteros, last week's winner. It's just a crazy, crazy type of a track, but you have to be able to utilize that up by the wall.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Salah.
You have to put that thing by the wall there. There's no way in shape or form you got to put that thing by the wall. If you're not, then I don't think you're going to be fast here. And it's all about putting that thing at the wall, but how far can you take it to the wall before you hit it?
Oh, yeah, and Landon, I think you and I could both speak to it driving the Cup cars is, these Xfinity cars, they are, in my opinion, this Xfinity car is as close to the Cup car as what you can get with the high horsepower package. Now, yes, obviously there's some handling differences, aero differences, a little bit of horsepower difference, but you drive these things so similar to those Cup cars at this track. And right now, I mean, you just slowly kind of see the 28 of Bain reeling in Vincent Cortez, and look how much higher he's able to run there. So he's going to take this big arc off the corner. Just look how much more speed. I mean, he gained a half a second there in one corner.
Right, and you kind of want to late. You don't. We talk about a diamond on some racetracks where you want to diamond the corner. You don't. You necessarily diamond 1 and 2, but you late diamond it so you can pretty much get rid of the wall on the exit of the corner. You have a straighter exit. You have more straightaway speed, and you kind of take that wall out of place. But the other thing you got to watch out for is that you don't get back on the throttle too easy, because now you've taken the wall out, but you might also spin out if you get on the throttle too soon.
Well,
yeah. No, go ahead, Zala. Go ahead.
Landon, I wanted to ask you a quick question here. With 16 laps to go, do you think these guys can make it to the end here?
They pitted on lap 63. They went green on 65, which is right at 46 to go. Now they've had a caution in between since they pitted, and you're looking at about 45 laps on fuel. I believe that caution that they had made it to where they can make it on fuel. Now, if we get into green-white checkers, throw that out, because I think if we go into green-white checker territory, that nobody can make it.
Well, I'll tell you, even from there, Landon, I mean, from here to the end of the race, if you see a caution, I don't care if it's a caution with 5 laps to go, you're going to be having guys coming to get tires. And if you're those leaders, it's like, hey, you want the track position late, but at the same time, the track position means nothing when you can be 2.5 seconds a lap faster on tires.
Right, but you're going to have the second half of the field wanting track position over tires, so that's where you start butting heads with drivers on what they want with 5 laps to go.
Exactly. It's one of those things where you got to take whatever side of the world that you can take with it. The other half you kind of throw it out the window. And I mean, hey, when it comes to pit strategy, I know you know all about it here, Landon. Winning a few of these Cup races the last few weeks. Especially, I didn't get to run with you Sunday night, but a nail biter for everybody at home. Congrats again on the win at Pocono.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
Well, guys, it's coming down here to the end here. We got 13 to go, getting ready to come down to 12 to go, and Jordan Bain just closing in a little bit by little bit. The question is, you can catch Vincent Cortez. He's shown he can catch him. Where do you try to set up the pass if you can set it up?
Well, here's the thing about that, Dean. He also has that dirty air to look after, too, and Cortez isn't going to let it pass easy, so if he wants it, he's got to get it quick and early, and I think turns 1 and 2 are going to be the best position for him to get the pass done, but that dirty air that Jordan Bain is going to get from Cortez is not going to help.
I'll tell you what, one thing I'm noticing about Bain's laps, he's a little more conservative over in 3 and 4, but it really helps, or in 3, but it helps his exit of 4. He's kind of let Vincent get down in there a little deeper as he's going to try this move right here. Just not going to have what he needs, but he will have a little bit of a run off the corner. But yeah, it's just, I think that's going to be where it's going to have to come down to. He's shown Vincent he's going to be a little conservative in 3. You kind of wait, and if you're close enough there at the very end, that might be the time you got to kind of send it down in there deep and see if it sticks.
Well, I don't want to jinx it yet, but I picked Jordan Bain to win this race, and he is hunting down Vincent Cortez like an animal, and he is trying to do anything he can to get around Cortez, and it's just not working. Going to the bottom, doing anything that means possible to get around Cortez, and it's just not working.
Well, you mentioned that dirty air just a couple minutes ago, and with that dirty air, while he is getting a heck of a run through the middle of turns 1 and 2, I think that air is just getting to the front of the nose just a little bit on the exit of 2, and he's not able to get into that throttle as hard as he wants to because, Landon, like I do, that turn 2 wall, it's going to come up and sneak out on you very, very quickly, and if you don't take the exit of turn 2 perfect, you're in that wall, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you're right, and I've been watching these two guys battle, and it seems like I saw the same thing you did with the center of 1 and 2 for Jordan Bain. And he's trying to turn under him coming off the corner, but again with that dirty air, when he goes to turn under him, as he catches that dirty air on the way down, it's making him a little bit tighter, so he's not able to get the run down the straightaway to be able to get underneath Vincent Cortez.
Yeah, the bad part is he can't really stick it high there because we just mentioned that wall kind of sneaking out on you. The best thing you've really got to, I think if you're Jordan Bain at this point in time with 8 laps to go, you've either got to close up to Vincent Cortez's bumper on the entrance of 3 and just kind of dive bomb it in there, try and throw a slider, or you've got to make him overdrive 1 and 2 so you can get that better run down the straightaway.
Caution on the speedway.
Right in front of the leaders.
Right in front of the leaders. Oh, goodness. Daniel Keith Jr., he's got to hold it down, and he does. So, well, guys, I think that throws that out the window. I guess we're going to find out exactly how busy pit road wants to be with under 10 laps to go.
And Brummett, sorry, Zala, but Brummett, like you called it, with 5 laps to go, man, this is going to be a mixed bag of strategies.
Well, guys, let's take a look at the Beer Street Journal Rec replay. We saw it was Daniel Keith Jr. down in turns 1 and 2. He's got Brandon Domain underneath him. Looks like we're going to go down. Oh, the 20. Oh, Danny Dow just kind of, man, I'll tell you, right there, that turn 1, that looked very bad, I'll be honest. But right there in turns 1 and 2, the track is like partially banked and partially not. And it kind of looks like Danny just got his left side tires down on that partially banked stuff, and it shot him up the track. And unfortunately, Daniel Keith Jr. Was just the unfortunate victim in that. Take another look here. Brandon trying to pass. Yeah, he just shoots down so fast, and yeah, it just straight up the track he goes. I mean, nothing. That's one of those racing deals. Very unfortunate, and it's going to really shake up the finish of this race. But like I said, just one of those racing deals right there, guys. Well, guys, I think we got our answer. We're in the pits. We got Vincent Cortez going to go ahead and lead him down, and I don't know, guys. I don't foresee too many people in the back trying to stay out here.
Yeah, I see these guys coming down pit road, and it looks like nobody is going to go with the staying out strategy. So we could see 2 tires, but I think you're going to see most of these guys play it safe and just take 4.
It looks like. Yeah, it looks like Michael Larch and Danny Dow might have stayed out here,
Oh,
guys.
as the JW Racing guys throw a little strategy. 2 tires on the 53, 2 tires on the 54.
And Jordan Bain, it looks like, beat Cortez out of the pits.
Oh, man, guys, this is going to be the mixed bag right here. And I'm going to tell you, the mixed bag as much as anything. Landon, you mentioned it just a little bit ago. You've got so many different strategies. You've got Larch out front, got Danny Dow right behind him. Now, I'm not certain if, it looks like Dow's actually going to come to the pits here, but you got no tires up front, 2 tires behind him, a couple of 2 tires here and there, 4 tires. And, I mean, here's the thing, the 4 tires, you go 3-4 laps, they're absolutely the call, I believe. I think without a doubt, just because of how much faster they are. But if this thing turns into a green-white checker finish, and you've just got to outrun somebody for 2 laps, this could be the move of the race right here. We saw Larch actually get caught up in that last wreck, and who knows, maybe that was the best thing that could have happened to him tonight.
Right, but all top 3 cars are JW Racing cars, so even though you have Jordan Bain and Vincent Cortez in 4th and 5th with 4 brand new tires, you have 3 teammates who are going to make it as hard as they possibly can to keep those guys from getting back up front.
Man, I tell you, it's going to be an interesting mixed bag. Landon, if you're the leader right here in Larch, knowing you've got the older tires, you've got your teammates right behind you who are going to try, like you said, to make this thing as much of a rolling roadblock as they can. Are you taking the outside here on the restart just to have 2 of your teammates down on the inside? Or are you going to go ahead and take the inside? Like, what's the call here on these older tires, knowing you're probably going to have a 2 or 3 lap run to the finish?
It kind of puts Larch in a box because no matter what lane he chooses, he's gonna have a teammate starting on his outside or inside, and he could take the outside and not have a teammate start behind him. But for me, Larch is gonna be the one that's the rolling roadblock because his teammates have tires where he doesn't.
Well, it's going to be an interesting race to the finish here nonetheless, and looks like it will be not an official green-white checker, but a green-white checker nonetheless, a 2-lap shootout here. He is going to take this outside lane. I think the big thing you have to watch out for here, we keep talking about the racing product on track. What I'm more worried about right now is what in the world is that tire spin going to look like? Can Larch get a good shot out? And, now kind of looking at the strategy he's got, I don't know if I like the outside just because that left another spot, so to speak, for someone who's not one of your teammates to fill. Because he's got Jordan Bain there with those 4 freshies right behind him.
Yeah, the good thing about tire spin here is the front stretch has the slightest bit of banking. So if Larch spins his tires, he's most likely going to spin them into the outside wall. So that's going to play benefit to his teammate.
Well, we have a lot of questions, but gentlemen, I believe they're about to be answered. The pace car is off. Michael Larch going to lead the field down. Good jump there from the outside. There's the wheel spin to the inside. The 53 gets down 3 wide behind him. 52 trouble. Teammates are going around.
No!
Teammates going around, and yellow flag is out here at Darlington. We will have an official green-white checker for the Throwback 140. That is not what you want to see as JW Racing there. You had all 3 of your cars there in the top 3, and now 2 of them are sitting here wrecked on the racetrack. That is going to be a Beer Street Journal wreck replay to watch here, gentlemen.
Well, as you see here, it looks like that wheel spin from, I believe it was 53 of James Shane Wolf didn't help Drew Ballesteros there, and yeah, he just gets loose, and then they go 3 wide, and it doesn't work whatsoever, and he just gets into Ballesteros, and Ballesteros flips on the straightaway.
Oh, Danny Dow in it too. It looked like Danny Dow was trying to miss this here. I mean, there were multiple cars that were involved. 53 and the 54 come together. Yeah, just sheer wheel spin here. A little net code to go along with it. 53 spins back up the track. Danny Dow almost misses it, but gets right there into the rear end. So, Landon, you kind of mentioned it there a little bit ago, buddy, the different tire strategies and what chaos it would cause. And already we saw it before we even made it back to the start-finish line.
Yeah, for Drew Ballesteros, it kind of put him in a box because His teammate Shane Wolf spun the tires, but his other teammate Michael Larch had old tires, so the only option he had was to go up the middle, and I don't think Shane Wolf expected him to be there.
No, not at all. And I mean, that, like we said, it's bad enough to get into a wreck, Landon. You know, like I do. You go through, you get into somebody, and you feel bad enough as it is. Sometimes it's somebody else's fault, and you know, you got to kind of plead your case on that. But I mean, in a situation like that, you take out one of your teammates, and oh man, you gutted for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully I haven't been put in that situation yet where I've accidentally wrecked a teammate. Hopefully I don't jinx myself on that. But you know, taking out, you know, for me, just accidentally taking out anybody in the race makes me feel bad, and I could only imagine what it would feel like, you know, accidentally, you know, taking out a teammate.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun, especially when you guys are sitting there. You know, you think you've pulled the strategy for the ages. You're like, oh man, we're gonna make something good happen here, and then all of a sudden, you got two of them going to the garage, and the third one's out front with old tires. It's awesome for Michael Larch to be leading here, but you know, he might have learned just a hair on that restart. I don't know if he did or not, just in the couple hundred yards that he managed to make it. He may change it up here. He may go inside. He may stay outside again. I hate to say it, but now at this point, without his teammates behind him, that is sitting duck territory for these new tires. But once again, this is the first of 3 green-white checker attempts. Hey, if he can pull that exact same thing off, have the exact same stuff happen behind him a couple more times, hey, he could manage to win this race just off the right place, right time.
Go ahead, Sala.
Yeah, it's all going to be about the position and where he's at. And now it's a battle between Jordan Bain and Vincent Cortez, because Michael Larch, again, is on that 2-tire strat. So these drivers are going to have to try and get around Michael Larch as fast as they can, and it's going to be a battle with the green-white checkered.
Well, you know, guys, I'll tell you, I've been watching the broadcasts for the last couple weeks between the trucks, the Xfinity, everything. We've had a few nail biters the last few weeks, and it just looks like we're going to deliver yet another one here, and hopefully when the Truck Series can make up for their rain delay race last night, whenever they get to run it here at Darlington, we'll get to see some of the same crazy racing action that we've got to see here tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting racing here and coming down to the wire. Dean, I don't know about you. What are you thinking in this situation right now?
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, if I am anybody who's behind that 52 car and I've got fresh tires, I am not a happy camper if I'm on the inside lane. If I'm one of those guys on the outside lane, I know good and well I'm getting ready to sit here and probably make up a bunch of good spots. And that's still the thing, though. Even though you've got the fresh rubber, you still got to be clean with it. Landon, the tire spin, we kind of saw it a little bit there, but hey, the tire spin is no match if you get down to turn 1 and your 4 brand new tires don't wind up gripping up for you.
Yeah, the problem for Larch is that he's not going to be able to get on the throttle as fast as Jordan Bain will, even though he can have the jump.
Well, we're about to find out here. The pace car's off, and Larch is actually going to get a decent little jump here, but he can't change lanes. Vincent Cortez to the inside. He gives him a bump, and it's going to be Jordan Bain to the outside. Right behind him, he's going to have the 58 of Pettit, where they're going to stack up in turn 1. Greg Olenek gets a little contact into the 43 of Hedgecox, but we keep them straight. We're keeping going. Vincent Cortez going to finally get around the 52. Look at this gaggle of cars down the back straightaway.
Yeah, there's a lot of gaggle of cars there, but Jordan Bain pulling away from Vincent Cortez for the moment. How much time does Vincent Cortez have? Caution's out, and we're going to have another green-white checkered. Oh, big wreck.
Big wreck. Daniel Keith Jr., Michael Lepicki looks like in it. Daniel Keith Jr., Austin Reedy. I mean, guys, this is the kind of chaos that you get on these green-white checkers, especially here at a place like Darlington.
As we go to the Beer Street Journal Rec Replay, again, remember, please drink responsibly. We'll see what went down on that wreck here to cause the caution. And I don't know, it looks like Lepicki going in. Yeah, Lepicki got into Olenek and just got around, and it just chaos. With Rhett Tucker also getting in there too, just a lot of chaos right there.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, especially when you got guys on differing strategies. You got new tires, older tires. One lane kind of checks up. I mean, 2 wide's dangerous enough as it is here at Darlington, much less when you had some of the 3 wide action earlier. But that's just one of those kind of things where, hey, guys are trying to get everything that they can out of it. As you see, unfortunately, Danny Dow involved in another wreck tonight. He, if you ever need to find the wrecks tonight, unfortunately, he's had a front row view to every single one of them, it feels like. The wreck just keeps happening. You see it from Michael Lepicki's view, it just keeps going and going and going and going, and finally you get turned around there. So now you got the guys back out front on 4 fresh tires. Landon, you've been here a little longer than I have here tonight, buddy. What are you thinking up front here? I mean, we saw Jordan Bain managed to get Vincent Cortez out of pit road. You got Ted Wreckage back up there. We saw him very, very quick on that short run speed. I mean, are we expecting another caution, or or do you think we're going to get this final 2 laps in? And if so, who's going to be bringing home that throwback win?
Well, I mean, we've seen Vincent Cortez lead the most laps tonight. Jordan Bain, Jordan Bain's been saving his tires all night, so we really haven't seen what he has in store for the short runs. It looked like if there was no caution, that it was Jordan Bain's race. And Ted Wreckage in third, I actually had a chance to talk to Ted Wreckage. I believe it was on Tuesday. And he was really looking forward to this race. He said, Landon, I can't wait for the race on Thursday. He said, I really love this racetrack. And he's proven it tonight. He was earlier in the race. He put a lot of pressure on Vincent Cortez, and that was in a short run. So we've seen Ted Wreckage's short run speed, but only one guy can come out on top here.
Jacob, Landon, question for both of you here. I mean, what's it like for you all to be able to go to your favorite track? I mean, I know we all have ones that we prefer more than others, but like, what's it feel like going into your favorite track and you feel like when you walk in, nobody else is going to be able to stop you? You feel like the only person stopping you is going to be yourself.
Well, my favorite track is Iowa Speedway, and going to my favorite track, I've never been there, but it's just all about practice. It's all about practice. Make sure you practice good enough, and you just want to make sure that you hit your marks and make sure that nobody is able to beat you. Landon?
Yeah. For me, I don't think I relatively have a favorite track. There's a lot of tracks for me that tend to suit my driving style. I said last week after I won that I didn't really like Darlington. It's not a track that, and for the only reason is that I don't know how to save tires here. But going to your favorite racetrack, you like Dean said, you feel like the only guy that can beat you is yourself. You just have to make sure you do everything in your power right and not get caught up in somebody else's mess.
Well, guys, we've seen plenty of messes here. It's like I am the harbinger of chaos for Speed Racing Network, because it seems like as soon as I got here, the yellow flag started flying. But hopefully we're going to be able to see this one out here for this final 2 laps. Jordan Bain going to lead the field back here to the green for the Throwback 140. Going to have a green-white checker finish. Pace car is going to pull in here, and he's going to go immediately there on the inside lane. Going to get a big jump. Got to make sure he doesn't change lanes before the start-finish line, and he doesn't. He heads down for turn number 1.
Yeah, this is going to hurt Vincent Cortez, as he's going to be battling with Ted Wreckage now, side by side through turns 1 and 2. And
Wreckage gets loose, and Cortez is going to be in the wall.
No!
Oh, Jackhead's car. Ted Wreckage around. Big trouble off, too. Caution out on the speedway again.
I hate to bring it to it, but look at Emerson Arden in second place. Wow,
that is a huge wreck replay. You saw Ted Wreckage got super loose, it looked like, off of or in the middle of turn 1 and 2, and he tried to chase it up the hill. And unfortunately for Vincent Cortez, he just so happened to be right above him. And that's kind of where this whole thing starts. He gets up in the wall, does a good job of holding it up there. It looks like then I couldn't tell what happened with Wreckage, though. I mean, I couldn't tell if he had gotten loose down the straightaway. That camera just really didn't do it any justice here. Let's see. He gets hit from behind there by the 43 of Jack Hedgecock's and loosens him up just that little bit more, and then around he goes. So super unfortunate there for Ted Rekich, especially after we just talked about this being here, the confidence he had coming into this race, and sometimes with it, that confidence is a lot, but the wrong place at the wrong time for that 10 car, as has been much of his season, unfortunately.
Yeah, and a big, rough event for Ted Rekich. He was doing really well. He had a chance for the lead early on in the race to get around Cortez, and just very tight race in there, and man, nothing you can do about it. But look at Emerson Arden here. I just want to give a shout out to Emerson Arden. Look at him missing that wreck and putting himself in second place. I don't think he's been up here in the top 3 all night. I just want to give a touche to Emerson Arden here. Hopefully that doesn't jinx him.
Well, this definitely changes the running order quite a bit here, guys. Yes, obviously Jordan Bain's still out front here as we see our 10th caution for the night. Emerson Ardon all the way up to second. Got Adam Pettit there in third. Vincent Cortez, even after the contact that he had, still holding tough there in fourth, with Aaron Gerwitz rounding out the top 5. Jose Castellanos there in sixth. David Duke up to seventh tonight. Good run for him. Greg Olenek there in the top 8. Stan Houseman in ninth. And Rhett Tucker, after some of the issues he had earlier in the race, no front end there, making sure the car's nice and cool, but he's rounding out your top 10. So, guys, I mean, we're going to do this another time here. Try to make it around 2 laps at this Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, and 2 laps is all they have to make it, and I don't believe the pace lights are off yet, but 2 laps is all they have to make it, and these guys are, man, the cautions are bringing cautions. Dean, you might have been the bad luck here, man.
Hey, well, at least I make it. At least I can make it exciting. And another thing that's going to be super exciting here, guys, is the Revved Up for the Cause. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make this race because I do have to work Saturday. But we did this event a few months back, raising money for little Miss Sadie. Brave little girl. Absolute sweetheart. And when it comes to the type of medical bills that unfortunately comes with the condition that she's working with here, sometimes it can stack up, and we want to do everything we can to help her. We're going to have prizes for the drivers and prizes for the viewers as well this Saturday, September the 11th at 9:30 Eastern. We're going to run this bad boy at Talladega Super Speedway, 100 laps. And guys, if you want to donate to Sadie and her cause, QR code that's on your screen right now, you can go through, scan that QR code with your QR code scanner and donate. So Landon, Zala, I don't know if you guys are going to get to run it, but 100 laps at Talladega, you got to realize, man, that's a little over half the distance of a cup race there.
Well, Dean, actually today I just made a decision to race with our very own Landon Lacy here today. So Lacy and I will be running together as a team, most likely. Still got to talk about it a little bit after, but yeah, that's going to be fun.
Well, guys, I wish you two nothing but the absolute best here for the end of the season. And you know what? I think I have taken enough of your all's mojo here. Landon, Jacob, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to you here as I sit in the background just to watch this thing out. Thank you for having me in the booth, and I'll let you guys call it to the finish.
All right. Thank you very much, Dean.
Thank you, Dean.
Guys, that's Dean Brummett. Like Sean said before, one of the nicest guys that we have here within SRN, and you can see why. I mean, he knows his stuff. He's on track. He's nothing but respectful. So we thank Dean for coming out here tonight and helping us out. But Zala, getting back to the race here, you have Jordan Bain and you have Emerson Ardon on the front row. You still have Vincent Cortez in fourth. The only problem here is this is the last green-white checkered as they go green.
Yeah, this is the last green-white checkered, and Adam Pettit is going to get pushed a little bit by Cortez, but it's all going to be about, can they make it back to the stripe? David Duke loose off the backstretch, but Emerson Arden making a run to try and get to Jordan Bain. What a run Emerson Arden is having, but Jordan Bain will take the white flag down the front stretch here, Lacy.
Yeah, one car in the wall off turn 4, but no caution as Jordan Bain takes the white flag. Emerson Ardon very up close to his rear bumper as they go off into 1.
Emerson Arden looking to try and get his first SRN win. Lacy, do you think we see the bump and run? I think he got loose, but will he try the bump and run?
He could try the bump and run, but hey, both of these guys are looking for their first SRN race. As Emerson's going to take the Kyle Larson line here into 3 and 4, but not going to work as Jordan Bain is going to win the Throwback 140 here at Darlington.
And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I love to see it because it's a Dale Jarrett paint scheme, but I also love to see that Kyle Larson line there at the end.
And what a race there is. Emerson Ardon took a little note out of Sunday from Kyle Larson and went for it, but again, just as it played out Sunday, didn't quite get there. But Jordan Bain, first SRN race for Rev'd Racing. Man, what a race.
Yeah, that was a great race at the end there, and man, did I not expect Emerson Arden to be up there in second. What a finish.
As Jordan Bain will come down here, he'll be able to do his first ever burnouts here in SRN in the Xfinity series. I'm sure him and his team are elated to see Jordan get his first win. Doesn't look like he's gonna quite burn it down yet. He might give a little. Looks like he's gonna do a Alan Kwiecki move and go a lap backwards around the racetrack.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's going a lap backwards, and man, again, running a Dale Jarrett paint scheme. I love to see that win, and I picked him to win, and he did it. Hey, I didn't give him the broadcaster's curse this time. Did not happen. What a win for Jordan Bain, and man, what a run he had.
Well, as Jordan Bain does his backwards victory lap, we will go down through the top 20 at the end of today's race here.
And you see Jordan Bain finishing in first position, Emerson Arden in second for an independent driver, Adam Pettit in third for Rev'd Racing, in fourth, Vincent Cortez for Tank Racing, and in fifth, Aaron Gerwitz for Rev'd.
And then you have Jose Castellanos, the top finishing driver for Striker Motorsports. Greg Olenek, after a bad 2 weeks at Richmond and Pocono, comes out with a top 10, finishing 7th. Rhett Tucker and David Duke, two independent drivers, finish in 8th and 9th. And Stan Houseman for R&D Motorsports rounds out your top 10.
Yep, and then you go back to 11th. You have Daniel Dow in 11th, Seth Reed in 12th. Devin Zimmerman finishing 13th. Jack Hedgecock finishing 14th, Tyler Markle in 15th, Corey Saucier in 16th, Michael Larch in 17th, and Austin Reedy taking that 18th spot.
Yeah, and round out your top 20 real quick, we'll have Brandon Domain finishing 19th and Bo Tiffany finishing 20th. Well, Zala, I guess now we'll get down to our interviews, and I guess the first one to bring up here will be your Tank teammate, Vincent Cortez. Oh, Adam Pettit. I am so sorry. I read that wrong. We will bring up Adam Pettit from Rev'd Racing. Hey, Adam, it's Landon and Jacob in the booth. Talk us a little bit about your race and your teammate Jordan Bain getting his first win tonight.
It was wild out there. I did not have speed. I just, I don't know, just kind of try to take care of my car and have some long run speed. I got lucky there at the end with all the cautions and everything like that. So, but Jordan's super excited. I'm proud of him and, proud of Aaron Gerwitz and Greg Olenek as well. We had 4 cars in the top 10. Should have had 5 with Ted, but we'll take it.
Adam Pettit, this is Jacob Zala talking to you now. What was it like battling through the pack here tonight at Darlington, and what made you get through here and finish in third?
Just patience. Patience, honestly. That was the biggest thing. Let people go that were fast, and hopefully, when you caught somebody that was a little bit slower than you, they would do that to you. And on the green flag runs, once cars kind of got spaced out, a lot of people started doing that. It was, when we're all bunched up on restarts, give and take is very limited out there. So just trying to save my stuff and make it to the end, which I did tonight. So I will take it.
Well, again, Adam, congratulations on your third place finish. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my wife, Brooklyn, for letting me come down and do this. Shout out to my teammates over at Rev'd Racing and Rev'd Reloaded. Shout out to my sponsors, Long MacArthur Ford, Silverback Tax Solutions, and Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. we just got our shirts and hats in, thanks to them. So super excited about it. And shout out to the admins, Jason and Sean Kozier for tonight, you guys in the booth, and Sean for doing an awesome broadcast as always.
And that was Adam Pettit, the actual owner of Rev'd Racing. So Adam, again, congratulations. We'll send you back down to your team so y'all can celebrate some more.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Next up, we will have... Hang on, I got to flick through my own leaderboard. We will have Emerson Ardon running as an independent, but part of Tank Racing. Emerson, man, that was wild there at the very end of that race. How did, especially, that last wreck there with, one of your Tank teammates, Vincent Cortez and Ted Wreckage, how did you find your way through that and come out here and, finish second?
Oh man, it was bittersweet because I was in the Discord with Vincent the whole time, and he was dominating that, and that was definitely his. But the second I saw him and the I don't know, but the other car and him make the wall contact with the wall, I just started to the inside. I'm like, I know they're gonna wreck, and then they wrecked down the track. I'm like, uh-oh. I jerked the wheel to the right, and I just shot my way through, somehow past Pettit, and I was in second for that restart, man.
Emerson, man, am I happy for you. I believe this is your best finish in SRN, correct me if I'm wrong, but how does it feel, knowing that you got your best finish, if it is your best finish, at one of the toughest tracks, too tough to tame, the Lady in Black Darlington? Yeah,
absolutely. It was it was something, especially last season when I was an Xfinity driver. I really had a rough qualifying. I think I started outside like the top 30 or something. So I was up in fourth with for a long green flag run last season, and then had a similar thing happen tonight. Late race caution with 2 laps to go, restarted fourth, and then I spun the tires, junked half the field, and I finished 13th in that race. So when I heard that Schumacher wasn't able to run this week, knowing that we need to have somebody in the car for the sponsor's sake, I said, I want to go get some redemption from last season, and I didn't expect it to happen this way, but certainly best finish in SRN. I'm a Cup driver now, but I'll take it. First ever interview with you guys.
Well, Emerson, you come from the Cup Series and move down to race with these Xfinity guys, and you come out of here with a second place finish. Is there anybody out there that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, absolutely. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Adrian Schumacher. Hopefully everything's going all right, and hopefully we'll see you back in the car next Thursday night. Huge shout out to Vincent Cortez, of course. That he dominated tonight. Hopefully he led over triple-digit laps led, because it sounded like he did, and he deserved that win. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get it. Then I got to thank all the sponsors, of course. Healthcare Billing Incorporated, on the hood of the car. Got to thank LiftWorks Incorporated, Chicago Heights, Star Tool and Die Works Incorporated, Raise Energy, Hunter Dawn Anesthesia Associates, Butcher Box, Teespring, which I think has now been branded to Spring, Common Sense Supplements, all my boys at the Extreme World Racing League, EWRL. That's my league, my Discord, and all of those guys in there. They have my back and support me with everything I do. Invader Zim Designs for the beautiful paint scheme, and all of my Tank Racing teammates, of course, Vinny and Devin, huge helps tonight when it came to preparing the car tonight. And I was a little worried in practice, but they kept me in it mentally, and I was here at the end.
Well, again, sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, we love you here, Emerson. We love that finish, and now we're gonna get you back to your team and let you celebrate that second place finish. Great job for you, Emerson.
Absolutely, thank you, and thank you for all the work y'all do on the broadcast.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And that was Emerson Ardon. And now, Jacob, we will get to our race winner, but not only our race winner. This is his first race win inside of SRN. Jordan Bain. Man, I'm glad to see you in here. You work. I saw you practicing earlier in the week, and saw it through Greg Olenik's Twitch stream, as a matter of fact, and I was pulling for you. I saw you run some fast laps, man. Your first win in SRN. How did you put this race together to where you could come out here and get this win?
Hey, man, just qualified up front. I needed long runs, man. I mean, that's where I'm going to excel at most tracks, but particularly Darlington, and that was going to be a bad finish between Vincent and I there before that caution came out with like 7 to go. And, real quick, I just want to apologize to Rhett Tucker. It looks like he and I were side by side off 4, and I mean, we barely touched. I guess I could have left him a little more room, but I hate ruining guys' races, and I'm not really a guy who likes to make contact with people or be that close to where something bad can happen. It kind of looks like just a Darlington thing, but I still want to apologize to him, 'cause that sucks that he got put in the wall there. But anyways, back to my race. Just kept the car clean, man, other than that little bit of contact, which did absolutely no damage. I don't think I touched anything the entire night. And clean car at the end's always nice, and just sweating out green-white checkers. I mean, I got lucky. I somehow beat Vincent off pit road. Otherwise, he probably would have won the race. We got stuck behind some older tires there, and just clean restarts and just not making a mistake and making sure I left the top lane in case someone wanted to Larson it at the end there. So I didn't get ran into the back of it, because I don't think that would have worked out well in iRacing. So yeah, it was just trying to be smart, man. Smart, smooth, mistake-free race.
Well, Jordan, I have one question to ask you, and this is going to be about your paint scheme. So, the significance of your paint scheme. I am a Dale Jarrett fan, and I picked you tonight. And what did you do? You came out here and won. What is the significance of that paint scheme?
I'm a huge Dale Jarrett fan, all grown up. The first race I ever watched was the 93 Daytona 500. I think I was like 7 years old. And he had like an NFL sponsor, and I like football. And I cheered for him the entire race. He didn't lead until, he got Earnhardt there with 2 to go, and it was the most thrilling thing ever. I was hooked on NASCAR ever since, and big Jarrett fan. And, like to run his championship colors. That's and his Darlington winning colors. So
I can tell you what, I believe that football team was the Green Bay Packers, unless there's a different one that I'm not thinking of. But I'm also a Green Bay Packers fan as well, so that could be the only paint team I'm thinking about.
Nah, he just had an NFL logo on the car.
Oh,
it was the Interstate Batteries one. Yeah.
I was born in 2002, so I didn't really get to see much done for Dale Jarrett. But a great win to you, and I know you want to go celebrate with your team, so we'll get you back down there.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Hold up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Real quick, Jordan, before we let you go, Sean Griffith is going to add your winner sticker. I don't know if you're watching the broadcast, but he's going to add your sticker on. And real quick before we let you go, again, we want to congratulate you on your first win here in SRN. And is there anybody out there that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to B-Water, the guys who've kind of come on board and helped support me and let me run their colors last month or so. Been working with them, and hopefully that can turn into a long-term deal. That's what I'm hoping for. So hopefully some of them get to watch this and get a kick out of it. And if you guys haven't tried B-Water yet, it's going to be out there. It's hitting the markets now. So you can find it on Amazon. Just the best water you'll ever drink. I guarantee it.
Well, again, Jordan, like we said, congratulations. Great win tonight. Like I said, I was pulling for you since, watching Greg's stream on Tuesday. I told Greg that I was going to pick you, but sadly, I didn't have that opportunity at the beginning of the race. But again, congratulations, and we'll send you back down to your team so you can celebrate some more.
Thank you, guys. And thanks to all the teammates at Rev Racing and everything, too. Those guys are great. It was fun.
Yes, sir. Have a good night. All right, Jacob, as this race concludes, I'd like to get a little bit of your thoughts before we talk about next week's race at Talladega.
Well, as we go to the Sweet Home Talladega 150, I will actually be taking a part in this race at Talladega because, again, I love the Xfinity car on the super speedway, so I will be racing in this race, and it's going to be interesting to find my way through the pack as we go to Talladega.
Yeah, for me at Talladega, I always seem to have the worst of luck at Talladega. I seem to put myself in the right place, try to ride around in the back for probably about the first half, and start trying to make up my moves, probably about 20, 30 to go. But always seem to get caught up in the big one. That always seems to happen. And sometimes we have more than one, but we'll have the Xfinity Series next week at Talladega Superspeedway on September the 16th at 8:30. But Sunday night we will be right back here at Darlington Raceway for the Throwback 185 for the Cup Series.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a lot of the same things we saw here tonight. Some very tight racing, and some very close racing as well.
Yeah, and a little bit of typo on the screen. That'll actually be Sunday, September the 12th. As Sean Griffith, our producer, fixes it. Didn't want to lose the Emmy, I guess. So we will be there at 8 p.m. Central. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be in that race on Sunday. And, for me, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I know I said last week that Darlington seems to be a track that I struggle at, but looking at some of the practice times, based on some of the other guys' times that I've seen, I'm looking pretty good so far. So, really looking forward to Sunday. But that'll be all for us tonight, guys. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting the broadcast and everything that we do here at SRN. And as always, we always like to leave you with, go faster.